Did she borrow another $500? And she did. She paid more than $350 for fees and insurance on the loan, according to the loan documents. The interest rate was 30%. Oh, god damn. That is sick. Yeah. She said it was like I'm in some kind of trance. She said of her decision to borrow money from Mariner. She paid back some of the money, but then fell behind, and Mariner sued. The company won court judgment against her in April for $3,852, including $632 in fees for Mariner's attorney. Oh my god. Yeah, so these loans are very similar to payday loans, but they're not closely regulated, according to the National Consumer Law Center. As the paper explains, consumer installment lenders offer slightly larger loans from about $1,000 to more than $25,000 for longer periods of time. So like payday loans, but for bigger amounts, and a name that doesn't immediately reveal how predatory they are. Is Geithner's firm ashamed of this investment and its a vile business? Of course not. Robert Pincus told the Post that American Finance delivers a valuable service to hundreds of thousands of Americans who have limited access to consumer credit, and then fucking them after they do. Like, this is this is the bottom of the barrel. And arguably, this is worse than what we just talked about with the people in Charlottesville. Because if you look at it, like, if you take a little bit of a glance here, like, these people, they're not in the front page news. They get away with this. They don't get any exposure. They don't get any discussion on these new shows. So they're able to get away with it so much more. This is disgusting. Oh, I don't know if I can go on. I need to take a shit. Oh, god damn it. Wow. That's incredible. Wow. I need to take a little bit of a break from that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we now move on to the situation that took place in the Capital Gazette. All the people, rest in peace for all the people in the Capital Gazette. It's a local Maryland newspaper that was reportedly at least the 154th mass shooting in America in 2018. Immigrant children whose parents were fleeing violence are being ripped from their families. Trans women of color are being murdered at a catastrophic rate. Unions are under attack. But for Senator Marco Rubio, a flaccid gas station Slim Jim, one issue trumps them all. People saying the word fuck. So, sign of our times, Marco Rubio says, the F word is now routinely used in news stories, tweets, etc. It's not even F bleep star anymore. Who made that decision? I mean, honestly, he makes a good point, because that has kind of changed, and I'm not saying I really have a problem with it, but I think it's just the people who have gotten more progressively fed up by your bullshit, and we're getting to the point where it's just not acceptable. And yeah, there's good guy Rubio. He's pretending like his Andy pearls to clutch and stand up not just for civility and Chick-fil-A, as we know, but for the countless asterisks that are now out of a job and can't feed their families because people are ashamed to say the F word anymore. Aren't ashamed to say the F word anymore. Won't someone please think the asterisks here? The asterisks are suffering the most in America. They really are. It's awful. Wow. Wow. Anyway, Marco Rubio, that's some incredible stuff. And you know, I was gonna do a story about a priest calling cops on funeral goers, that tells them to get the hell out of the church during a funeral for one of their friends, one of their family members. But yeah, let's just get it over with. Anyway, despite having ample evidence that Jesus will work it out, a Catholic priest halted a homecoming service in Maryland to have a black family removed from the church. The servant of God even kicked the dead body out of the funeral, proving once again there is no sanctuary when it comes to racism. Aside from the fact, wow, I'm looking at this. So, aside from the fact that she was no longer alive, Agnes Hicks Charlotte Hall, Maryland, Charlotte Hall, Maryland Mass was going to be perfectly fine on Tuesday until an attendee of a funeral went in for a hug and accidentally knocked over a chalice at St. Mary's Catholic Church, angering the pastor, Michael Brees, he looks like a pedophile, by the way. And he says, quote, he said, there will be no funeral, no repast. Everyone get the hell out of my church. Brees then kicked the family out of the place of worship, telling them to remove the body of the woman who wished to be laid to rest where she was baptized. I mean, get this fucking guy in jail, right? This is ridiculous. All right. See if we can play the story here. This is a video. So yeah, Brees was not done yet. He walked through the valley of the shadow of death.
This was for her viewing and funeral that was held here inside this church Tuesday morning. Hundreds of people showed up to pay their respects, but it all ended abruptly when someone knocked over and damaged the church's sacred cup, also known as a chalice. A cell phone records a chaotic scene from the church pews as an argument between the pastor and family laying their loved one to rest escalates, while the body of 54-year-old Agnes Hicks lays in her casket right nearby. A short time later, the family is seen carrying out her casket to leave, with shocked attendees and police cars in the parking lot.
This was uncalled for, uncalled for at that church, and it really hurt me, really do. To see your loved one come there to rest and be shut down like that.
Hicks's family is still traumatized over what happened. They say Agnes Hicks was baptized as a young girl at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Charlotte Hall, and it's where she had always wanted her funeral. But things got ugly at her viewing with Pastor Michael Breezy. This is a photo of him from the church's website, when family says someone went in for a hug and accidentally knocked over the church's sacred chalice near the altar.
That's when all hell broke loose. He literally got on the mic and said there will be no funeral, there will be no mass, no repast. Everyone get the hell out of my church. He was disrespectful. He disrespected our family. He disrespected my mother. He called my mother a thing. He said, get this thing out of my church. Everyone get the hell out of my church. It was very sad. It was very sad. And I never seen anything like that before.
Family says the pastor then called police.
Bad enough we had to bury our own mother yesterday. But for you to say she's a thing and it will be no funeral, you're not a preacher. You're not a pastor. You're not a father of the Lord. You're not none of that. Acting like that, you're the devil.
When officers arrived, they determined the family was not in the wrong and escorted them to a funeral home out of the county, where another pastor performed their funeral service. Meanwhile, the Archdiocese of Washington has issued an apology to the family that reads in part, quote, what occurred at St. Mary's Parish does not reflect the Catholic Church's fundamental calling to respect, nor does that incident represent the pastoral approach the priests of the Archdiocese of Washington commit to undertake every day in their ministry.
My mom was supposed to have a great funeral, and all this came up, and now I'm so traumatized about it. I'm going to keep thinking about this every day. Like, I can't never forget this day.
The Archdiocese adds that they are taking this matter very seriously, and it is still under review. Father Breezy is also expected to make a formal apology to the family.
Yeah, so that's courtesy of Fox 5 there. Oh my god, what an animal. This is unbelievable. Like, this is Michael Breezy. Oh my, I can't, the news is just too much for me to handle. All right, we're going to say so long, everyone. We will see you later in the week for a 4th of July special, if we can get that out there. And also, what I said before, I really meant it. Libby Watson, very excited. We're going to have her on the podcast soon. Very cool.